Hello everyone, welcome back to kind of part 2 of this book haul. I probably have already posted the special editions version. I'm planning on posting that one first. We'll see if I stick with that. I probably will if I start editing this one first and hear myself saying this. So you will have already seen the special edition section of this book haul, but now I'm going to jump into some of this, like the regular books that I have acquired over the last few months. These are going to be faster to go through because I don't have to show you all the customizations. So this should be a little bit zippier than the last one. We're going to start out with some books that I got off of a book depository haul. And first I have Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I honestly just kind of like to have some easy romances on hand for when I go on vacation. I really have no idea what this book is about. I think this is a second chance, like hometown romance, but I definitely could be wrong about that. Emily Henry likes it, and I absolutely adore Emily Henry's writing, so I'm really hoping that this one will be one I can just take on vacation with me and just binge and really like it. I also picked up Meet Me at the Lake by that same author. Again, I think this one might be like They Used to Go Vacation. Is this the one They Used to Go Vacation? I think this is a second chance romance again, and I honestly just kind of like the vibes of how these books look. I like the cover, I like the colors. They just seem like really bingeable romance reads, and so that's pretty much the reason I picked these up. And for another similar reason, I also picked up Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I read Yours Truly by this author recently, several months ago, and quite enjoyed it. There was some aspects that I did not enjoy as much, but I really liked the way that the author developed the relationships, and so I'm hoping that I will enjoy her other books. I think that these may be set in the same world, but following different characters, and as far as I'm aware, you don't have to read one before you read the other, so I'm really looking forward to being able to take this on a trip with me, just have a nice, easy, bingeable book. So again, that's what the romances are for me often, is I'm going somewhere where I don't want to use a lot of brain power, and so romances are good for me in those cases. This one also has like a Target sticker on it, which I think is really funny. I also picked up Lost in the Moment and Found by Shauna Maguire. This is the next book in the Wayward Children series. This is a series that follows these children who go through portals to other worlds and come back to the regular world, and kind of how they're dealing with that. Some of the books are set more in our world with them dealing with having gone to these other worlds, and some of them are set in that other portal world that they went to. This one, I don't remember exactly which one it is, but I just absolutely love the covers of these books, and so I definitely want to have them all. And I feel like they frequently will pop up on a book depository or book outlet, sorry, and so I'll pick them up then when they're like $6, because then they're a lot cheaper. Because again, I think that novellas this one was like $23 US and $31 Canada. Wow. I cannot imagine paying $23 for a book that's going to take me less than an hour to read, maybe an hour to read. I'll give it an hour and a half max. It just seems like a little much. So I do like to get them when they're on sale. I also decided to pick up a hardcover version of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This is his like adult sci-fi debut, first step out of the Aragon world as far as I'm aware. I have heard very mixed things about this one. I've heard some people absolutely adore it, and some people say it's really slow and a slog to get through. I am definitely going to be giving it a try. I actually wasn't that interested in it until I heard people absolutely loving Fractal Noise, which is another one set. It might be a prequel to this one. Either way, I think you can read them in whatever order you want to, but I saw this one on Book Outlet, and I figured it was probably a good thing to grab it while it was like $6, and I just think the cover is gorgeous. Like, I love the covers of these books. I think they're absolutely beautiful, so I am looking forward to it. This just might need to be, I need to be in the mood for it, because it is a pretty heavy sci-fi. And here is the whole reason that I placed that Book Outlet order, and that is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I wanted a reading copy of this book because I do have special edition copies from the Broken Binding, but I wanted a copy I could read, and I had the first one in hardback, so I wanted to have the second one in hardback as well for my reading copies. So that is why I picked this up. This is like a prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree, and I think this is going to be a world that I absolutely love. I've heard Priory is just this very beautifully written, just dragons and like strong female characters and great world, and I can't wait. I'm really excited to jump into this series, I guess you could call it. I'm gonna start with Priory. I'll read this one second just because, well, I just feel like I need to do it that way. I don't know if one is better than the other. Let me know down in the comments if you very strongly disagree with that reading order. But I'm definitely looking forward to this series. And I feel like I need to read it in a time where I really want to read it. Because at this point, it's almost been so long that I'm scared to read it because I've hyped it up a little too much at this point, maybe. I don't know. I have a couple books that were gifts from my sister. We are doing this book exchange where she sends me a book a month and I send her a book a month. They have to match a prompt, and I'm doing reading vlogs of all of them, so you can check those out if you want to. But Nightshade was the book for February. The prompt was Gothic Romance, and this one I have started. I'm not very far into it, but it definitely has the Gothic vibes to it. It reminds me very much of Vampire Diaries. It's this girl who's kind of going into her father's research to help investigate this crime that has happened, and she's starting to find out some things that maybe the paranormal might be real. So definitely excited to keep going with this one. It's got that like very extra over the top angsty, a little bit bordering on corny vibes, but I'm actually really enjoying it so far. And the most recent book that she sent me, which was for March, was Gods of the Weirdwood. This one I am so excited for. I actually have had my eyes on it for a while. This is a magical, dark, sentient forest and gods that come out of it. And it says in here, like, in a world where the land is won and lost for uncaring gods, where the forest is full of monsters, our main character will need to choose between his past life and the one he needs now, and his choices will have consequences on his entire world. And I'm really excited for this dark forest vibes. I'm going into this one for vibes, so I really hope I love it. I also went to the Barnes & Noble like hardcover sale that they have after Christmas. Now, this year it was not as good as last year, but I did still pick up a few books. I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a YA fantasy romance, and it's set in a world where there are people who have power and people that don't, and the people that don't are very much looked down upon. And this girl has pretended her entire life that she does have power because those who don't are like shunned and essentially like sent out to die. And she runs into some obstacles that make faking this a little bit more difficult. There is a love triangle in here, and I actually quite enjoyed this book. I have already read it and I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the next one in the series coming out as well. So yeah, this was a really fun read. I also picked up Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is her most recent series. This is an adult fantasy romance again. And I honestly know absolutely nothing about it. I just know that it's getting a lot of good reviews. People are really loving it. It's a lot shorter than her other series, and I'm just really wanting some good fantasy romance to have on hand to read if I want to. So that's why I picked this one up. I also grabbed Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to Ninth House. I do have Ninth House. I have already read it. Absolutely adored it. I don't know why I haven't read Hellbent yet. Ninth House is this like dark academia. There's this girl that can see ghosts, and she somehow gets herself embroiled in these secret societies of Yale where she's trying to stop these ghosts from doing horrible things, even though these secret societies are doing things that are attracting these ghosts. I am really intrigued to see where we go in this second book. There's a character that I'm very invested in from the first one, and I want to know what happens in the second one. And for some reason, I just haven't got to it. I do have special edition copies of both these books, but I wanted a reading copy as well because I absolutely adored Ninth House, and so I'm hoping I'll love Hellbent just as much. I also picked up two completed duology, and that is Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. And these ones kind of took the bookternet by storm. People absolutely love them. I am so excited to read them. I have kind of gotten the vibe that these are dark academia romance books, and there's letter writing in them. There's magic, and I am so excited. People have been absolutely loving these books. And I got the Barnes & Noble edition of Ruthless Vows, and I just think it is so pretty. I think it matches Divine Rivals really well. So I can't wait to jump into this series. I think this is be a good one to kind of like binge back to back. So that's kind of what I'm hoping I'll do with these. And the final one from the Barnes & Noble sale is I picked up Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. This is the most recent novel in his Red Rising series. This is the sequel series to the original trilogy, and I read, well, we'll call it the fourth book. I read that one and did not really love it, so I didn't continue on, and there is one more in between the one that I have read and this one that I don't even own, but I decided to pick this one up while it was on sale because people are saying this is his absolutely best work. They loved it. It was so good. And so now I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to keep going with the series because this one is so good. So I don't know. If you have read this far in the series, let me know down in the comments. If you think I should read it, give me a convincing argument because I think I could be persuaded to keep going with this series. Next, I have a couple of Christmas gifts that came in a little bit late, and one of them is Blood Over Bright Haven by Emma Wong. This is the same author as The Sword of Kaigen, which I absolutely loved, and I am so excited for this book. I think that Emma Wong does such a good job of just getting you invested in her characters, their lives, their world, and just really like wrenching out your heart. So I am hoping for that in this one. And it says on the back, magic has made the city of Tyrion an industrial utopia, but magic has a cost and the collector has come calling. And the description on here is a dark academia fantasy novel at its best. So I cannot wait to, oh, it's Petrick. Oh my gosh, Petrick is quoted on here. He's a booktuber and he's just the best. So that's awesome. Congratulations, Petrick. But yeah, I cannot wait to get to this one. And the note in here, I just have this one. I don't have one saying who it's from. So if this was from you, please let me know so I can thank you. I did post on my Instagram when I first opened it, but no one said anything. So thank you so much. I am so excited to get to this book. The other Christmas gift that I got after Christmas a little bit is Sky's End by Mark J. Gregson. This was actually gifted to me by my best friend here in where I live in the real world. And this is a YA kind of like fantasy dystopian novel, I think. He lives on a floating island and is supposed to be the heir to his brutal uncle. I am intrigued. I think this is like a local author that she saw was, yes. Yeah, he's a local author and now he's a English teacher, I believe. He teaches middle school English. And so he was kind of like promoting his book and it came with like a little letter. It also was signed. And so I'm really excited to read this one. I love supporting local authors and I like the cute story behind the book. So these next books came from my trip to Dragonsteel this last year, and first I have the illustrated edition of Eragon by Christopher Paolini. I picked this one up there and had it signed by him, and I just am really excited about it. I love the illustrated editions, like the illustrated Harry Potters. Like, look at that. So pretty. And yeah, I loved Eragon growing up, so I absolutely had to have this version of it, and I'm just really excited for it. Eragon is such a special series to me because of reading it growing up, and I think it'd be so much fun to read this illustrated version and see all the pictures as I go along. So yeah, I just think it's so pretty. It's really big and very heavy though. And I also, of course, picked up Defiant, which is the final book in Brandon Sanderson's Skyward series. I have read this and I still stand by that my favorite book in the series is the first one, which is Skyward. I love the family there. This is his YA sci-fi series. It follows Spensa, who wants to be a pilot but is kind of pushed out of that because her father was considered a coward and a traitor, and so she is just having to fight against a lot of obstacles to get to that. It definitely expands and gets way bigger from there, especially by this book. But yeah, it was a good ending. I thought it was really well done. I feel like Brandon Sanderson always does well with his endings, and this really wasn't any different. I very much enjoyed it. Now to some random other books that I picked up. I got all the Magnolia Parks books in the UK covers because I did not like the US covers. The change that they made to them was not my favorite, not my thing. So I decided to pick up the UK covers. I like them better. And so I got the entire series having read none of them. So I might someday do just like a week of reading Magnolia Parks. Hopefully I like this series, since I have now purchased 4 books in it. If not, I'm sure I can sell it because other people do want these versions as well. But yeah, I decided I would just like go for it and get them all. On one of my trips to the bookstore, I picked up The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. This one just sounds beautiful. I'm really hoping for some really atmospheric writing and just beautiful setting. I don't know, like I just want to be drawn into this book. That's what I'm really hoping for with this. I feel like this is going to be a book about books, and I really enjoy that. It's this woman who is given this book, or like gets this book from a man who dies, and she is then pulled into this world of like these secret magical books, and I'm just really excited for it. I think it's gonna be really good. And of course my camera died when I was so close to being done. But other books I've picked up is Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater. This is the 3rd and final book in her Regency Fairy Tales series, and I don't know what we're going to be following in this one, but these books just have this really light, easy read about them. They're so easy to get into. There are these romances that are kind of set in this magical Bridgerton era, and there's this fairy world that is sitting alongside ours, and not many people know how to interact with it or ever do, but I just really enjoy the atmosphere and the vibes and the writing style of these books. They're so fun, so easy to get into, and I can't wait to read this one. I think it's going to be really good. I also picked up the 3rd book in the Crescent City series, which is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the final book in this series, and I have already read this one and I did not love it, but I did go to the midnight release for this book, which was a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I did a midnight release for a book, so I definitely am glad that I did it just for the experience, and I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't love the book. And the final book on this list is Monstrous Volume 8, Inferno by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. This is one of my favorite graphic novel series. I just really like the world. It is a very epic, vast world with a lot going on, tons of politics, a lot of scheming and characters in this, and we are following this girl that has this magical power inside of her, and it's very much influencing all of these sides. They all want to use her, kill her, catch her, whatever. So she's very much a huge focus of this war, and I really love the art style. I like the world. It's a little bit confusing at times, but I still really enjoy it. Okay, that is all for this book haul. I feel like I've been talking forever, and I really hope that you all enjoyed this. I hope you got some ideas of some books that you might be wanting to pick up. Let me know if any of these books on this list sound like ones that I should really jump into right away. Wow, the lighting just changed significantly. I don't know if my camera was able to like adapt well to that, but let me know down in the comments which of these books you think that I should pick up right away. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.